right, we're here.
I get the impression that we're going to get an unusually rejuvenated Austin. Because I think he's actually gotten some sleep.
Yep, I'm off school. It was my birthday 2 days ago. Yesterday, time has no meaning anymore.
Oh, happy excreted out of vagina day.
That's exactly how the doctor put it. For my birthday.
What, this year? You went and saw your doctor on your birthday? Because you were like, I'm not sure what to call it.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask to get the technical terms so I could describe it on this podcast accurately,
right,
because you know how important truth is to me.
Absolutely. Otherwise, why would you be going to law school?
Or as I like to call it, rule school.
Yeah, how about them grades, boy?
Yeah, they're still coming in, but they look good so far. I got a personal email from one of my professors thanking me for my essay getting him through having to grade all of them. Apparently, it was a drudgery.
And was he like, boy, your verbs are ripped?
I think he's.
What was your essay about?
Okay, so the thing I'm talking about specifically was my torts exam, which is there was like a small multiple choice section just on the basics, and then we had to write. They gave us a long, rambling kind of situation, or like. This plaintiff did this and this and this and this or whatever.
So not unlike a regular feature that we've had on this podcast for, say, the past semester.
There was like a 6-paragraph just description of events that happened, and then I was supposed to analyze them for potential lawsuits. And I ended up writing about 20,000 words, which is an average novel. Like the threshold's like 50,000, so nearly half a novel.
This was one of your take-home exams, right?
No, this is a 3-hour in class, I think.
You wrote 20,000 words in class.
That was 4. Torts was 4, civil procedure was 3. Yeah. And I assume everyone else did too, and there's like 60 of us, so like he literally had to read something like 30 novels worth, or nearly 30 novels worth of law essays in like a week.
You know what's funny? I bet that most people don't read that many novels in their lifetime.
Yeah. It seems like a thankless job. That's why I wasn't like... surprised that it was so awful having to do, and he sent me an email being like, thank you for adding jokes to your essay. It really helped. But yeah, my writing, I have some sort of mental condition where I literally can't not make jokes. So I was like, I think I said there was in the problem, I was talking about how a shower head dislodged and hit somebody on the head, and I referred to it as like the tortious aquatic missile or something. Like I was using like weird Star Trek speak to refer to things like when I didn't need to, just to liven it up. And apparently that worked. So I got one of the few A's. As we previously discussed, they are a limited commodity under this grading system.
Yeah. You know, Leon, I can't help but feel a little proud.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I sort of feel like that you and I, even not necessarily meaning to, helped Austin study for this rigorous examination.
I'm comfortable taking some credit.
Absolutely. I think
because I sure didn't study in a conventional way. So this podcast is the only thing that comes close to being responsible for my own work.
Well, I think
you should talk about us in class.
Oh my goodness gracious! But I'm still waiting for some other ones to come back in. So maybe I screwed the whole thing up. But
you'll be fine.
For my birthday, one of my friends brought over his dog, and they put a little football jersey on it, and it was very good.
Was the football jersey the Chicago Bears?
Nope, it was a Florida State Seminoles jersey, our university.
So you were only half delighted then?
I was very delighted. It was perfect. He was a very good boy.
Oh, all right. If he's that good a boy, then I will allow it.
I mean, the dog is mildly racist, although we've kind of gotten him past that, we think.
How does that... How is the dog racist? Just barks at black people.
100% exactly that. Yeah. Anytime Clam comes over, he flipped out, just absolutely went bananas. But we've just immersion therapied him basically.
Have you exposed the dog to other black people?
No,
because maybe it's just Clam.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very excited if Clam came over. I would bark at him too. Like, it would be great.
It took a while, but we've finally got him to realize that Clam is not a threat in the conventional sense. Just like a philosophical one, perhaps. But no, he's a very good boy. Good dog.
That seems like a very good boy if he's open to changing his outlook on race and status in America, particularly nowadays.
Yeah. He's the kind of open-minded bigot we need in these trying times. The other thing I did on my birthday...
You're a very good boy, dog, and I know you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I play it for him. I saw the... what's that movie called?
The big red one?
Yeah, that one. No,
yeah.
We'll talk about the new Star Wars movie, I think, at the end, because I think Leon... No?
We will only talk about it if Johnny has also seen
it. No, we can talk about it. I don't, I know that Romeo and Juliet die at the end, guys. Like,
no, I like literally everything I want to say is spoilers.
I don't mind.
I
do.
Leon, bro, dude, son, calm your shit, okay? It's Star Wars.
For the structure of this show, though, I think we should leave it to the end so that anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled, we can like say goodbye to them, and then they don't have to worry about it.
We can do that. We can do like we'll do questions early, and then the last like 20 minutes or something like that, we can talk about Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I solicited Christmas questions on a lark, and so I think we're gonna be talking a lot about presents and stuff. So I won't go into too much more of that. But I've been talking.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. I mean, I know that by the time this is out, it's probably post holiday.
No,
it'll thick of Hanukkah.
Pre other holiday.
You're welcome for all the miraculous oils. I don't know. And also Kwanzaa's in there. Kwanzaa's in the mix. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? What's your movies, games?
I actually had like a lot of things I wanted to say, but now I've like lost track.
Yeah.
I had some things. I didn't write them down like I said I was going to last week, but I remember.
Okay.
Because
I wrote mine down, but you go ahead.
I'm a lot less dead this week. I can breathe. Cool. My head is clear. I'm a man about town. So, first of all, I managed to work my way through the entire Netflix adaptation of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
All right.
Oh, is that out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it is at least in Canada. I don't know about U.S. Netflix. I could do a quick Google for you.
I just hadn't heard anything about the release. That's weird.
I know it was like on the BBC like for past few months.
Yeah.
Because reviews came out.
But yeah. So it's a quote unquote American kind of adaptation of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency that was, I think, wrangled by Max Landis. So that name may embroil a number of emotions because I know that people feel pretty mixed about Max Landis.
People feel some kind of ways about Max Landis.
People do feel some kind of ways.
Like a not great person who makes interesting art. Can we agree on that at least?
I think that sounds like...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that sounds reasonable of him, Interesting art. At least, like most of the things that his name is attached to, I'm like, I kind of want to see that a little bit.
I think I can think of one thing that I kind of liked, and that's it.
What was that?
I think I kind of liked American Ultra. I didn't love it, but after hearing it was so bad, and then I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, this is fine.
Dirk Gently does not appear to be on U.S. Netflix yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on Canadian Netflix.
Okay. I mean, that explains it, because I would have thought I would have heard of it, because they usually throw those up on the front page, but now I'm searching it right now, and it's not there.
Wacky.
Yeah. So Max Landis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's some kind of shit-faced shitball or something.
Yeah,
he's not a great man. But, I mean, interesting, I'd say. At least interesting. Like, if he was a not great man and not interesting, then people wouldn't talk about him. But anyways, okay.
That could be set up a lot of horrible people.
We're circling this drain.
So. We are, like it's okay. We can at least say that we don't feel super enthusiastic about him. All right.
He is the only person on Twitter I've blocked who has never spoken to me. just because I never had, just because I know people who occasionally retweet him, and like normally I have faith in my my friends and followers and acquaintances to not do things like that.
Yeah.
But a couple do anyway. So he's the only one.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't know who I am.
In any case, what I can say for certain is that I am super enthusiastic about Douglas Adams.
Okay.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I like the Dirk Gently books, although there were only really about like 2.5 of them, if you count the Salmon of Doubt, which is like even more so. It's like half a book that was originally going to be, I think, a Hitchhiker's Guide book, but then like as he was writing it, he was like, wow, this might actually be better as a Dirk Gently book, so it never really fully calcified into a Dirk Gently work. But I like the Dirk Gently books more than I like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books.
Oh.
So I was actually kind of like really interested, even though like I sort of feel like Adams's writings and portrayals are kind of like Doctor Who in that they're quintessentially British. Like there's something very specifically cultural about them, and I sort of felt like by deciding to put it in America, that you were going to miss out on a certain like a background of the painting. You know, like it feels like you're painting on Tupperware as opposed to canvas, where it's like, I see that you got an image out of that, but it's not really what it's supposed to go on, you know?
Like that American Harry Potter movie they just made?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know, like, I don't know much about the Potterverse, or whatever you want to call it. Because I never really read the books.
World. It's called the Wizarding World.
You're a Wizarding World.
Got him.
But it did seem to me that when I was like, oh, okay, magic in America, like they had to make it fanciful by setting it in like the 1930s or 20s or something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. And it was like, you know, American magic is like fucking the Dresden Chronicles, you know? Like it's gritty, it's kind of gross. It's sort of like, ugh, these guys don't shower, you know, and they smoke too much, and they drink, and they hang out in damp alleys, and like wear trench coats, and like that's American magic, you know. It's like
wizards never shower.
Yeah,
fact.
They just fact. So in any case, though, you know, I sort of felt like it was a bit wrong to put it to place it in America. And I gotta say, I was a little discombobulated by the actual characterization of Dirk Gently. They don't make him American. Mm-hmm. He's still English, but he's a bit of a nitwit. Have either one of you guys read The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul or Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency?
I'm afraid I have not.
Okay, I've always kind of pictured Dirk Gently as being a super cool customer who, like, is more unbothered and kind of lazy about things, as opposed to this. The portrayal they gave him in the TV show was kind of like a divinely guided idiot. I mean, you know, they have this, like, whole backstory that they kind of elaborated and created about how, like, you know, he was involved with the CIA somehow, which is something that they kind of allude to in the books as well, but they just sort of, like, they're like, yeah, we hear really weird rumors about this guy, you know, but it... yeah, the characterizations kind of bugged me. Because, you know, like, the Dirk Gently books are almost invariably told about Dirk Gently at the behest of some kind of, like, witless sidekick. Some kind of, like, it plays off almost a Sherlockian kind of feeling like that, insofar as that it's usually from kind of Watson's point of view. The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul kind of wanders around that a little bit, but a lot of your views of Dirk Gently come from the way that other people observe him. And it's very rarely as a manic idiot, which is kind of how they portrayed him in the series. in the TV series. He's like up all the time, except when he's really sad, and then he's kind of down. And it just like it goes kind of roller coaster. But that weird kind of witless companion is played by Elijah Wood, right? Mm-hmm. And there's something very specific about the polite British Watson, who is, again, like, not necessarily an idiot. Like, I shouldn't say the witless idiot is played by Elijah Wood, but the sidekick is played by Elijah Wood. There's the British sidekick who's just a little bit straight-laced and a little bit like, good grief, man, are you all right? And then there's the American mild-mannered sidekick who is usually just a person that gets walked over. And that's kind of what they did. Is that like the only reason why Elijah Wood just kind of goes along with everything Todd as a character is that he's just kind of very easily steered. And you know they try and create these moments that they have. And to be fair, the guys Todd and Dirk Gently do have actually pretty damn good chemistry. Elijah Wood is a fine actor, and I looked up the fellow who plays Dirk Gently, whose name escapes me right now, but he's got a couple of good English credits to his name too, and they've got fine chemistry with each other, but you know, quite a lot of the characterization again just felt wrong, and I sort of blame the environment for that as well. But I'm happy to say that the way they orchestrated the plot, I think, is bang on. Like, the content of the story is fantastic. Because, like, the way the Dirk Gently books kind of run is they write these just strange, fantastical, odd mysteries that introduce these weird minutiae during the course of the mystery that you're not sure why it's relevant, but the writer is paying particular attention to these things. And if you're a writer, you know that it's like, okay, there's something to this, but I can't figure out why. Like, why are you writing so much about this couch that's trapped in a stairwell? Which is actually one of the things that occurs in the first book, and a very fine joke if you get to the end of it. But then, you know, by the end of the book, by the name, right, the Holistic Detective Agency, like, everything kind of gets tied up. Everything sort of comes together, and it does that really well. Just these, like, bizarre, strange, like, just flailing loose ends that kind of flap in the wind of the plot and get tied up well. And I found, despite the fact that I was bothered initially, just kind of like watching the show and seeing the characterizations and the setting, by the end I was actually really quite satisfied. Apart from like the fact that the last 20 minutes of the final episode are so very obviously being like, oh, wait till you see what happens in season 2! But that notwithstanding, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was neat. I wouldn't say it's like must-see TV, or, you know, must-watch Netflix or whatever you want to call it. But it was humorous. It was whimsical. It was fun. And pretty enjoyable. Any, you know, embroiled names attached to it notwithstanding.
I'll watch it when it comes to American Netflix because I would like to talk about it with you. But, someday I'm waiting for him to have a movie good enough where it's worth throwing down on this show about him.
Yeah.
And stuff. So far, it's like interesting, but just not. It's not worth the brain space to pull apart this entire thing.
Yeah, I know.
There are some listeners.
We dance around it like constantly. Every time he comes up, we're all like,
yeah, make something worth going to bat for, maybe.
And just on a quick side note, I got an interesting email today from a company that's like food couriers. You guys know food couriers, like, right? The places where it's like, it's not a restaurant that delivers food to you, but you like go to this place, you're like, I want this food, and then they'll like go to the restaurant, pick it up, and then drive it to you.
Yeah, like
it's
Seamless?
It's like Uber for meals.
Yeah,
I'm sure it exists. I just never heard of it.
I got an email from one of them that was like, "Oh, here's our holiday promos," and I was reading it before we started the podcast. And there's an offer on it that's like, buy one taco, get another taco 50% off. And I was like, that sounds like a great deal. And then I see the restaurant it's associated with is Eat Sushi.
At least there's no confusion about what you're gonna do.
I don't know, man. That's either a really great deal or a mistake.
It's a little pushy, that title.
Yeah.
It should be like, comma, please.
Eat sushi, Leon. Eat sushi.
Yeah. The famous, like the Uber of that is called Seamless. That's like the big company that does that. I don't know if we have that here. We have our own.
Maybe in America.
Yeah. I don't know what yours is called, but that's
we've got a few. There's one that's called like Skip the Dishes.
Nah.
Uh-huh.
That's cute.
And then there's another one called Just Eat.
Again, very pushy.
As in, like,
very pushy.
Just eat. Come on.
Oh, I remember. The one we have here is called Doorstop Delivery, I think it's called. Anyway, I don't know why we're giving all these people free advertising, but that is a service that the modern age provides.
Okay, that's
so
neat.
The moral of the story is, watch out for sushi tacos, and that's about all I got.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else think Elijah Wood's kind of sexy in a shy kind of way?
He is aging weirdly.
How's that? What do you mean by weirdly?
I mean, like, he still looks young, but like, age has kind of given him this strained look. So he looks like a guy that's maybe in his early 20s that has seen some shit.
He carried the ring for too long.
He did.
It just leaves there's an effect on you.
I mean, yeah, if you want to call it like that, but it does. Like, he has this weird stressed look on his face. When I just see him, like, pictures of him smiling and things like that, I feel like there's something behind those eyes. Like, too many
he has really pretty eyes.
Too many early mornings, too many sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Just like, ugh.
He has that kind of Daniel Radcliffe kind of boyish charm, where it's like, it's not my type, but I could see how you could be attracted to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does have beautiful eyes. I agree with you there, Leon.
Yeah, I'm saying Elijah Wood greater than Daniel Radcliffe on my math equation.
Okay. And also, sorry. Go ahead, Austin.
No, I was agreeing with him.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just gonna say too, because I brought this up on Twitter earlier today, and I just want to raise it here.
Mm-hmm.
Raise it, okay, all right, because I know that Leon doesn't watch trailers,
Right.
But surely he follows the papers. So maybe the Blade Runner 2049 teaser trailer passed him by.
I've seen animated GIFs of it because people just do that on my Twitter feed, but I was like, nope, scroll past.
And that's cool. But did you read Variety today?
Nope, I've read nothing today.
Well, what I read in Variety today, and apparently this was a Variety exclusive that released today, is that around Thanksgiving of this year, Legendary Pictures negotiated a deal with the Frank Herbert estate for the rights to produce movie and television content related to the Dune franchise.
Okay.
And apparently today they announced they were courting Denis Villeneuve.
Oh. That's neat. I should care more, but I've never seen Dune or read Dune. I'm doing Dune because someone paid me, and I was going to do a David Lynch month next year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I added that when someone said, I'm paying you to do it. But I've never seen it.
I was for sure that you read it. There was something in the back of my mind that was like, Leon's read Dune. He'll be excited about this.
I've read nothing.
And Austin, you haven't read Dune, have you? Because you're like 12.
Yeah, that's me. I have seen the movie, though. Is Sting coming back? That's all I care about.
Probably not. And if he is, he's probably going to come back and be like, oh man, Fields of Gold.
He's just going to look into the camera and deliver a monologue about tantric sex for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be like all of the edited footage that went to the cutting floor from Zoolander 2.
Okay. He's going to play like a guitar made out of wicker. Okay.
I've
never
You see, like, I come with two things today that I'm super stoked about. Both literary adaptations, both, like, sci-fi classics, or at least, you know, close to. Yeah. And you're both like, nah, Johnny, fuck off.
Oh, Johnny, definitely don't fuck off. I just haven't seen it. I just haven't read it.
Any other Lynch movie or any other Hitchhiker's book, and I'd be right there. You just pick the weird ones.
Oh, incidentally, too, by the way, guys, that if you watch Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, if you're at another country that has them, they filmed it in my neighborhood.
Neat.
Which I didn't even know until I watched it. And I was like, what the hell? That's Stephanie's mom's street.
I would love if there's, like, one frame of you in the background eating an oversized sausage. You just have the whole thing in your gob, and you just have this look on your face.
Not even in a bun, just like bare-fisted, mustard everywhere.
And your eyes are like rolling in ecstasy. And you have to freeze frame it to see it. But then I put it as my Twitter avatar, my computer wallpaper, my phone lock screen. And it's just everywhere.
Oh.
I would love to tell you that were the case.
I would reblog that and add the caption, "He just went for it." Oh my. Anyway, trying to think of stuff I wanted to talk about, but now it sounds so silly in my head that I'm like deleting it. It's just trash. Oh well. Guys, have I ever told you that the dildos are all over my Twitter?
No, I don't think you have.
Good for you.
Okay. Yeah. No. Oh, that's not an insult. Like, oh, these dildos. No, I mean dildos are all over my Twitter.
I think we call them Gamergators.
Bingo!
There you go. Very good.
Marital age, though. How they do.
No, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I used to be. I have these moments where I feel kind of prudish, but and that's certainly a thing for me. But not about dildos anymore because like I've just had like aversion therapy to it. Basically, before like my show.
Look, Leon.
Yeah.
If the robots are gonna take over, we have to get used to robot dongs.
Yeah.
There's that headline going around that says robots are going to fuck us to death.
Yeah, sex robots are going to fuck us to death.
I've just been showing that to everyone. Sorry, dildos.
Let's get ready. Oh, no, like before like way back in the day, I posted my older show from before Renegade cut at a forum, and I made a friend, and I made a few friends, and we followed each other on Twitter, and most of us continued to follow each other on Twitter. One of my friends, who is she's a really nice lady, she just happens to sell sex toys. Didn't always, but it's been like, I guess business has been good, because there's just, so like every day, you know, I just scroll through. I'm like, oh, that's a neat thing about Ghostbusters, and oh, that's my friend is up to that. And then there's just like about like 4 tweets in a row with giant purple throbbing dildos. I'm like, oh, okay, oh, she's doing well. That must mean her business is good.
Wait, they have throb technology now?
I like to think that they do.
Okay.
I don't click
to
like learn more about the mechanics of it, but I mean, I feel like. I mean, something's got to throb.
I mean,
at this point,
they do a lot. There's a lot of features in there now. They have them loaded out like smartphones.
Right. I'm not making
it's basically a Fitbit at this point.
I'm not making fun, by the way. She's really cool. She just sells dildos and other things that people put inside each other and whatnot. AIDS, yes.
But not all in capitals.
Jesus.
Right. She doesn't sell AIDS.
Bananas.
My God. But yeah, it's, I mean, there are still other bits of porn on my, timeline. I get, because, I have a friend who just likes posting lots of porn. I'm not going to mention who this person is.
You know, Leon, for a prude, you sure do have a lot of pervy friends.
Look. Here's the thing.
SJWs are horny as hell.
Oh my god, they are so horny.
He's
like it's all about learning to fuck better.
He's definitely not one.
Like it's all like, what name do you like to be called in the bedroom? Steven? You got it.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay. Where are we going?
But anyway, yeah. My Twitter feed, like from my eyes, is like not safe for work. Mm-hmm. Not that I would ever like be at a work where there's a computer. Besides in my home. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about dildos on my timeline because I feel like this is a thing that people would like to know. And it's been going on for quite a long time, and it's just never come up.
So what you're telling me is, by talking about it on WordFunk, is you would explicitly like to have more dildos on your Twitter timeline, because one way or another, Leon, that's probably going to happen.
Well, I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, if I'm already dealing with a bunch of dildos, you know, it's like when once you're wet, you can't get any wetter. I mean, if there are dildos all over my timeline, if you just add a bunch of more dildos,
I disagree. You can always get wetter.
Oh my God, that's the title. Definitely is. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Cool.
I had some stuff I wanted to say about Santa Claus, but I decided that I just can't follow that.
Well, we have questions about Santa Claus.
Welcome to Renegade, cut it.
I'm sure we'll tie it back in.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Cool. I have other things, but you guys don't want to hear about Fuller House.
I want to hear about Fuller House.
You still watching it?
Oh, of course.
It's so good. I had enough.
I haven't started the first season yet, but it's on my ever-growing Netflix list, which now I think has eclipsed 400 things to watch.
Oh. Well, basically, and
the only reason I haven't started it yet is because it, like, at 400 and, I don't know, I think it's 13 things to watch, I basically just start at the front, where I'm like, okay, what's at the front today? The OA? Okay.
It's basically like your Steam library, where it's like, I've accepted I'm never going to get through these, so now it's just kind of like a fun meta game I play with myself.
Basically.
To see how many I can add to it, yeah. Fuller House.
Anyway,
dogs?
Yeah,
dogs, right?
Yeah, there's a dog. I like Fuller House. Whenever it starts and the theme music happens, Netflix says, skip intro, and I'm like, how dare you?
Can you answer a quick question for me, Leon?
Absolutely.
Is Fuller House filmed in front of a live studio audience?
I genuinely don't know. It certainly plays like it is, because there are, like, woos.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I don't know if there actually is a bunch of guys, or if it's just canned woos. Sometimes there are canned woos for some shows.
Some of my favorite woos are canned.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's presented in the way that 80s and 90s sitcoms are, with that laugh track. But anyway, yeah, I enjoy it. It's kind of like, how do I put it? It's like, when everything is bad, I just want something that's so completely innocuous that I need to watch an episode of Fuller House. The world is bad, but I really like that there's this stupid family that's like, when someone knocks, everyone goes, "It's always open." And I'm like, why would you do that? I always think, I was like, why would you do that? You're gonna get killed.
Do they use the same theme song?
It is a remix of the old theme song.
Ah, okay.
It has a really sick drop.
Nice.
It's dubstep. I don't know if you know that.
It's nice. I enjoy the show. I haven't gotten through the entire second season yet, but we'll see how this plays out. Yeah. I would say more, but I feel like the interest level is it's like at the very bedrock.
How's Gibbler doing?
She's great.
Good.
She's wonderful. Kimmy Gibbler is wonderful, and her brother Jimmy Gibbler is now a character in the show.
Whoa,
and he's the best one. He's the best character.
Kimmy and Jimmy Gibbler.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very good. He looks like Ashton Kutcher, but he's not.
You see, this sounds like a show I would like to write on.
Good. I would welcome it. If I had any pool, I would try to make that happen for you.
All right. It's okay.
I'll
just keep dreaming.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to say about that, I guess.
All right. So I'm just going to step up to the mic here. I want to tell you guys about our seasonal memes. that we have in our friend group here.
Okay.
I think you guys know by now that memes are very important to my IRL friends. We have kind of this of a meme economy, and it's something we started, I think, this year, was seasonal memes. So, for example, during the Halloween season, when something happened, like someone got a particularly good burn in, we'd say, "Dang, spooked them," or "Got spooked." That was spooky. And then during the Thanksgiving season, we would say, "Dang, got stuffed. You stuffed him. Oh, you stuffed me."
Austin?
Yeah?
Can I just ask a quick question here?
Yeah, sure.
Are you sure these are memes?
No, they're not. They're memes in the clam sense, in that everything he says is a meme. And also, this is 100% his fault.
Okay.
I should be clear. I did not come up with any of these.
So he stuffed you, in other words. All right.
I want to say these are very good, and I want to hear more.
And now in December, we were trying to find a good one, and we started
Are you getting jingled?
We started off on a bad foot. We started with Holly Jollied. Like, dang, Holly Jollied him. Got Holly Jollied.
No, that doesn't work.
I would say wrapped.
Nope, we finally settled on a good one, and it's Slayed.
Oh.
Slayed him.
Oh.
Got slayed. Gonna slay ya. I think that is kind of our crowning achievement in this.
I don't know,
vein.
man. There's confliction.
Yeah.
In the judges' bench.
If you have a better one, I'm open. This is a good forum. If you guys have meme feedback, let me know.
Yeah. January is hard.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but it's something we have to put our best minds, our top men on.
If you were not in Florida, you would say you got snowed, but you are in Florida, so I just feel like that wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Could there be a resolution thing? Because people make New Year's resolutions.
Resolved them.
Son, you just got resolved.
I don't know if that one rolls off the tongue quite well enough.
No. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. What's the Chinese animal? What New Year is it? Cock?
Is it? When does the Chinese New Year roll around? It can't be.
I think it's it's later than January, so.
Martin Luther King Day is in January, but I don't know how to do with. I don't know what to do with that.
Not violently protested them.
Austin, my birthday is in January, so I mean, make what you will of that.
Got Johnny'd.
You just got blighted on the entire human race.
Yikes. That's fucked up. What about Valentine's? Fucked them. Straight fucked them.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah. But just keep that in your hearts and minds. If you
I don't know. I think on Valentine's I'd probably very, very wryly be like, dude, you just got romanced.
Saucy.
That requires a little bit of touching, I feel.
Yeah.
Or at least a cocked eyebrow and a coy expression. Coquettish, even, one might say. Okay.
But I'd like the comment section for this episode to just be a list of holidays and your suggestions for seasonal memes for each one, for each season.
I don't know. Like
St.
Patrick's Day,
this.
because getting Irished sounds like you just got headbutted and had somebody tug on your balls really hard.
you got dranked.
No, well, okay, now it's just stereotype theater. I thought we were classier than that.
No, we're absolutely not.
I would have said shamrocked. Damn, shamrocked him. Got shamrocked. No? Let's see. That's why I need
Too
help.
many syllables. Too many syllables. You gotta go.
It's got to be. It has to be economical.
Well, it's just rocked with an apostrophe.
Yeah.
You just got rocked.
Yeah. Okay. March also has Purim.
Okay.
So you got that going on. I have to look up what that entails.
Yeah, I can tell you're just Googling a month holiday.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I am. I'm looking at timeanddate.com right now. I'm done now.
I guess in January somebody could be annuitied.
Okay. Yearly compounding interest.
That damn straight. Every year, man. Boom.
This was bad, and we shouldn't ever talk about it again.
I have no flow. I don't know why you'd come to this. Come with this to me.
You still messed that up.
Don't mind me.
That had layers.
Kind of exhausted this week, actually. I'm still overcoming this malady that I managed to contract. Because every time I get sick, it means sinus infection, basically. So
you're so delicate.
I know. I'm a small flower.
My precious little Johnny. There's another couple things I have written here that I wanted to throw out. One is there's another good, I would say probably the second best movie analysis YouTube show behind what's it called? Leon's Movie Corner.
Renegade cut.
The Leon Movie Boy. There's another one I've been watching called Movies with Mikey. He's I cannot pronounce the man's last name, but he was the writer for Borderlands and Brothers in Arms. He's a video game guy. And he actually like worked on those games, but he has
the original Borderlands.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, strike one. But he's kind of hit an explosion of popularity recently with a couple of his movie. He did one on Zodiac.
I did like Brothers in Arms, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So
I know you're all about that. Too Furious for Hitler stuff.
Oh yeah.
For Führer.
Yeah.
For Führer.
Yeah. Too Furious for Führer.
Yeah. And he also just did one on Dark Knight, which was very good. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like doing a YouTube shows you should watch segment.
What's the like runtime on the episodes? Do they have a
like 10 minutes ish, I think. Like
okay.
Renegade.
Right, maybe I'll check it out.
Renegade cut sized. It's a good companion piece.
Although next episode coming up, which is about the Dark Knight trilogy, is actually going to be very, very long.
I'll bet he doesn't have as dreamy a voice as Leon though.
He's much jokier than Leon. There's a lot of
there are literally zero jokes on the show, but okay.
I'm saying like you have a different tone, but
yeah.
Yep, that's the thing. Also, I've been watching sports shows on YouTube that no one listening cares about, but if you should already know about Pretty Good and Breaking Madden if you care about sports. So, how about a law thing? You guys want a law case talk about?
Hang on, I got one more thing. I forgot about this.
Give me it.
Johnny's VR corner.
You touched.
Oh, do it.
I touched.
All right.
This week I touched Accounting by Crows, and Justin Roiland. Does that name ring a bell? Justin Roiland. Do you guys know Justin Roiland?
And the Morty?
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Rick E. Morty.
So, very recently, Justin Roiland got together with a number of people from who've been working in the games industry, including, I think, a Mucky Muck, a pretty high-up producer that used to work at Epic, I think it was, and formed his own VR development studio, Squanch Tendo.
Because of course.
But before Squanch Tendo formed, apparently Roiland caught up with Crows, which is made up of one half of the team that created the Stanley Parable, and a couple of other guys whose projects elude me at the moment. Anyways, and they decided to release a free VR experience called Accounting, which, strangely enough, involves very little accounting. You guys, I know what it's like to have Justin Roiland scream at me in one ear in virtual reality.
Nice.
Now.
How was it?
And that was really unnerving.
Cool.
I don't know how much of this guy's real life goes into the art that he creates. You know? Like, I don't know, like, how much of watching Rick and Morty is like being a friend of Justin Roiland. Or how much of Accounting is like being Justin Roiland's roommate, or anything like that. But if it's not, this is like some serious art performance. Because I don't...
Counting. Does it go some frog fractions places? Is that what's happening?
It starts and you're in an office, and there's like a speakerphone rings, and you press it, and then some guys are like, yes, welcome to Smith & Smitherson's Accounting, fantastic, we're happy that you're here, yes, okay, so we've just got to get you set up, and they tell you this story about how they invented a VR accounting software, because the best way to do accounting is in VR, to actually be the numbers, right? And so you like look for some stuff in the office, and then they make you put these VR glasses on. And then, like, you put these glasses on when you have your VR glasses on, and then you appear, like, in this wooded glade. And then this dude pops out of a tree, and in Justin Roiland's very, very, like, distinctive voice goes, "Hey! Fuck you! What are you doing here? What are you doing in my home? What? You shouldn't be here! Why are you in my home? Why?" And, like, he doesn't stop screaming at you for, like, 2 minutes. And then a phone rings, and I turn around and there's a phone there, and so I pick up the phone, and the guys in the accounting office are like, "Oh my god, something's gone terribly wrong. You're in the wrong VR. Like, we don't know where you are. The ones and zeros, they're everywhere. We're accountants. We don't do this shit." And then Justin Roiland's yelling in your other ear about, like, he's like, "Who's on the phone? Who is that? Get the fuck out of my home. What are you doing here?" And then you put on some other VR glasses, and then there was a guy who told me about what he ate for lunch. And I stabbed him, and then I played the xylophone for a little while.
Were you supposed to stab him, or did you just stab him?
It was deeply implied that I should stab him.
Oh, okay.
Insofar as that, like,
do whatever it is.
No, he's just like, he's sitting there talking to you about, like, what he ate for lunch, and you're in this dungeon. He's like, "Hey, welcome to my dungeons. It's really great to have somebody else here. I don't get to talk to people that much. I just, I sit and I eat lunch. Today for lunch, I started with a pineapple." And then there's a knife, and I picked up the knife. He's like, "Oh, you found my knife. Thanks for helping me clean up my dungeon. I know it's a little messy in here. I mean, obviously there's my knife. That's my very favorite knife." And I'm standing in front of this guy with this knife, and then this, like, little icon of a pair of scissors appears at the top of his chest, and a dotted line runs down his stomach to a little X at the bottom. And I'm like,
Jesus.
"I know what you want me to do, game." But he just keeps telling me about, like, how he's really happy that I'm, like, helping him clean up the dungeon. So I stabbed him, and then he screamed. And then some VR goggles pop out of him, and then I put them on. And then I played a xylophone and poured acid all over myself. And then I threw a lawyer at a judge. But it's okay, because the lawyer was only, like, 6 inches tall. And then a bomb exploded, and I did some accounting. So, VR is kind of weird right now. But I'm pretty glad that, like, people like Justin Roiland are working in it, because I don't think that, like, that's kind of something I don't think I'd be able to experience anywhere else.
I definitely take weird over boring.
Yeah, precisely. And there's so much boring stuff going on right now. It's like the shitty days of Atari, where people are just, like, pumping shit out and being like, "There's money in this, there's money in this." There's no fucking money in it right now. It's just like, we just need, like, visionaries and weird people to prove that it's actually an interesting creative medium. And, I think Squanch Tendo could definitely do that. So speaking of throwing a lawyer at a judge,
yeah,
Austin,
yeah,
you've got some law stuff for us?
Yeah, so I'm about to start a new semester, which means we're going to get a whole slew of new cases, but I wanted
That was like an old school segue.
Yeah. You mean where you actually tried?
Yeah. I feel like, look at us, guys. Look how far we've come.
Remember effort?
Yeah. This show has gone through a number of revisions, some more effortful than others. There was a period where we talked about video games. There was the period we talked about nerd news. There's the period where we talked about ourselves. And there's the period where we got really political. And now we're in the period of, like, let's just try to put positivity and joy out into the universe because God knows it needs it. Like, let's just be shining beacons of cool stuff until we find a new format. And then we'll do that for a while.
Give me your nerdy.
Yeah.
Give me your accepting. Give me your forlorn.
Your boners, your butts, all of those things.
Oh, yeah, especially the boners and butts.
But I wanted to round out kind of the best cases I still had in this semester, so I have a couple more over the next few weeks. The one I wanted to bring you this week is O'Brien v. O'Brien, a husband and wife suing each other.
Can you spell those?
O''Brien, V, the same thing.
Interesting. All right.
So they got married, and then they moved to Mexico, where the husband attended medical school. And while he was in medical school, the wife paid for everything, basically.
Can you give me an era?
I could probably look it up for you. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not really relevant.
Okay.
But I will certainly Google it while I'm talking. So she paid for everything, basically, or at least...
I just want, I want a picture in my head.
That's fine. And so he got his medical license.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved to New York, where he promptly divorced her.
Damn.
This is 1985.
Ooh, you can't get away with that shit in the 80s.
I feel like that's the exact time to get away with something that underhanded.
So he filed for divorce, and so she sued him for half the value of his medical license.
Yeah.
That is the suit in question. How do you guys think that shakes out? Because he doesn't have any other assets because he was a student the whole time. She paid for everything. She had the job. He doesn't really own anything.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you feel?
I sort of feel like in a just world, she would get that.
Yeah.
But this is happening in America.
I know. Just like
Ronald
for a
Reagan
brief
was
moment there, Leon, for a brief moment there, I was like, man, imagine.
I imagine. Look, laws as they pertain to other countries are complicated in the sense that there are, like, we have extradition treaties, but you can't be. But they're extradition treaties. Like, if you do shit in America and you go to a different country, they can try to bring you back to America to make you accountable for it, but they can't make you accountable for it in another country.
I know.
So one would assume that if you're in another country and you do something, and something happens in another country, and you're wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I have a question about this.
They're in New York when he files for divorce.
No, I understand that, but like the law, the doctor school was medical school was in Mexico.
Correct.
All right, I do have a question though. This medical license.
Yep.
I mean, he may have gotten his doctorate in a school in Mexico, but he is licensed in America to be a doctor.
I don't know if he specifically took whatever New York tests he needed to take, but he has a medical license, and that's what she's suing for. Is half the value of a medical license.
But it is applicable in America. It's not like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about. In my mind, she should, that's a divorce, and you should get half. I mean, what he brought it into the country. He didn't leave his medical knowledge in Mexico.
At most, I'm willing to bet that she possibly could have sued for the cost of his schooling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm willing to bet that was like the counter offer.
Well, I mean, that's the heart of this case, is because this was something we learned in property. Because the idea is is knowledge property? Does it have value? Okay. That's kind of like the core thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you sue someone for paying for them learning stuff?
I feel like you can.
I feel like here's the thing. Like, if we're talking about assets, then yes. But if we're talking about money that's already gone, I feel like that's different.
Yeah. I mean, there's so it's kind of a trick question in the sense that.
Okay, Austin, I'm ready for you to break my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's find out how wrong we are.
So there are two schemes for this used in various states. One is anything that you get during the marriage you split, and one is you just split whatever you have, right?
Right.
So what this case comes down to is that New York specifically has a canon of interpretation that professional licenses, like medical licenses, count, and therefore she's entitled
as property.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this wouldn't work everywhere, and in fact I think New York's in the minority in this, but this is more of like learning from the exception to the rule. Also just because it's a really interesting case, I think, because people got really heated. We were talking about this in class, and she was like, raise your hand if you think the husband should win, and like a bunch of dudes' hands went up, and I was like, if you think the wife should win, all the women and like half the dudes, and we got a good chuckle out of that. But yeah, so there's a couple different ways to approach it, but because of New York law, this comes out that she does get half of her investment, so to speak. And some people found
Good for you, Ms. O'Brien.
And some people found that really offensive. But like, you can't take half of someone's knowledge. Like that's, or like relationships aren't an investment. You should just do things for love. And,
relationships, marriage is an investment. Marriage is an investment. It is legally an investment.
Yeah.
Right. There is a lot of monetary stuff that just comes to you just from being married. Like freaking like tax stuff.
Yeah. But I'm saying people get really get defensive of their positions on this. And it's I think it's an interesting case because it makes the statement that you can be held accountable for things that aren't simple on paper. It's not like, oh, I loaned you $10, give me $10 back. But like, even in another country, even when there's nothing on paper, you still, depending on the jurisdiction, can be held accountable for things like that. And I think there was
it's the whole premise behind like workers' compensation and things like that, is that it's like your earnability, your potential value is an asset. If you train your entire youth to become, let's say, an athlete, and then at some point in time in your young career, something happens and you're incapable of using that training, it's not like, oh, well, your ankles are fucked. Too bad. It's like, no, that's a serious deal.
But the converse of this is like women traditionally would not have their labor as homemakers recognized. Their investment in a marriage as people who don't draw a salary was not legally understood.
Which is totally fucked up because it is. Like, it's absolutely, utterly an investment. It's labor in the first place. And
it's
not
hard,
only...
It's hard to calculate that.
Yeah, it is hard to calculate, but it's undeniable.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's definitely work.
But like, if you get divorced, can you sue your spouse for their what they did or did not do to raise your children or something? Like,
right.
There's
that's what I mean by it's hard to calculate.
That's why I think this is kind of the lucky case where you can say like, here's how much tuition was, and you can actually put a figure on that. That's probably helped get that law passed.
It makes sense.
But yep, property is weird. And we spent a lot of time asking like really dumb philosophical questions about like, who owns an animal when it's running through the woods? Who owns an asteroid,
Well, we're getting to the day and age where people are starting to try and own genes, so...
Oh, I talked about that. That was one of the first cases I talked about because it was one of the first things we learned was that pharmaceutical companies can basically just take parts of your body and you don't have any say in that. Oops. So, you guys talk amongst yourself. I have to take care of a little thing right now, and I'll be back.
Okay. I'm glad me and my ex-wife just decided that we didn't owe each other anything. There was literally no money stuff involved.
No,
she was just like, I'm gonna get my own place. I'm like, cool, I'll help you with that. And she says, thank you, I could use it, and you can have my computer. that was it.
Well, I think there's a big difference between couples that split over acrimony.
Yeah, that's true. We're still like best friends. So it's so not a big deal.
It doesn't seem to me like anything untoward happened between the two of you.
No, not really.
Whereas, we don't know the full extent of why this divorce had happened.
I think there's like subtext that he came back and was like, well, now I'm a doctor, I can get anyone. Like
there's a kind of a scummy subtext like that.
Yeah.
But what would be even worse? What would be even worse is if he was like, oh, you're always tired, like, how come I never see you anymore? You're always at work.
No, there was definitely people in the class who were like, what if like it just genuinely isn't working out? Should he have to be stuck in a loveless relationship just because when it was going well, there was like certain financial arrangements? Like, I understand the opposite argument, honestly. It's not, I don't think it's quite as simple as we'd like it to be.
But I mean, like, you made the financial arrangement.
Yeah,
you signed your name on the dotted line. This is not like you didn't spit in your hand, shake, and be like, "We'll do our best to try," whatever.
Yeah, you're not stuck either. There's a way out. It's just, do you want to take that particular risk? You're not forced to. This isn't like you have to get the Pope to say to arrange your divorce anymore.
Mm-hmm. You guys ready for questions?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do questions.
All right.
Let's do it.
K-Dobbs asks, do you have any opinion about teaching children harmless, quote-unquote, lies like Santa?
Look, I feel like I've changed a lot in the past few years. And if you asked me this, like, when you first met me, I would be like, don't teach kids that crap, you know? But now I'm like, whatever.
You're older and you're softer.
Yeah, I'm becoming gooier as I get older. Much gooier. And my feeling is more like, look, let's just make kids smile or something, okay? Let's make them smile a little while. We don't have, let them believe in magic very briefly, and then let them figure out that magic is not real, and maybe that'll be a good learning experience for them. Maybe for the best.
So that when they turn 10 years old, you can be downstairs in the living room with a giant banner that says, Santa's not real, everybody will lie to you, we're all going to die. Have a piece of cake.
I'm pretty anti-white lie normally, but I don't know if this is even a lie so much as just kind of like a fun game they don't know they're playing.
Yeah,
this is a non-consensual game.
It's like a prank that is completely harmless.
Teaches critical thinking skills.
The word prank has been so thoroughly ruined for me.
It has. I'm sorry. Maybe that's the wrong word for it.
It's fine. I just try.
It's like a punked.
I try to avoid it because there's this whole thing now where people going around like being just horrible to each other and calling it pranks, and it's just like that word has lost all meaning.
Oh, you're talking about the Delta Airlines.
Not specifically, it did occur to me, but just like that genre of YouTube, and there's a bunch of television shows with a similar premise where like we made you
guys
feel
who come around corners dressed
bad
as clowns with knives in their hands, and it's like that's not a prank. Like somebody's gonna fuck you up.
That's assault. Hire me. Call me up. I will litigate this. They've just assaulted you. Hey, what's up? Next Christmas question, guys. Are you feeling holly jolly yet?
I feel really good.
Okay. Let me get into my second glass of wine.
Okay.
I saw a production of A Christmas Carol the other day. The Chesapeake Shakespeare Company sometimes does things that are not Shakespeare.
Liars!
What? Yeah. No, it was very good. They put on a really good show. It was really interesting because one of the cast members had to leave right as the show was starting, so there was no time to even get the understudy. So a role had to be like replaced by someone playing multiple parts like in the moment, and they explained that. So someone seemed just a little bit off during
What role was it?
I can't remember. It was someone who had to actually do multiple roles because they all do multiple roles. But yeah, it was like, she seems good, but she also seems like she just learned her lines. And she did, like immediately before. She was not the understudy. She's just like, all right, I can do this, and she did. It was actually pretty good, all things considered. They're really good. They're actually a really good theater production company. They're good, and yeah, I'm in a very good Christmas mood. And again, if you ask me about Christmas like 5 years ago, I would probably like grumble. I'm gooey now.
Yeah, we actually got a question about that. James Neely asked about Leon going through a Christmas hating phase, and if there's any reason you'd be willing to share.
I think my disdain for Christmas is like basically when I left the church, it was like, okay, that's done now. Everyone can just get over it. People in my life did not get over it. And Christmas sort of became this symbol of their stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And it also became a way to tempt me to be more part of their stuff. So it's like, well, Christmas presents. And I was like, no, well, if that's the way you're going to be, no Christmas presents ever. I'm abstaining. And that just sort of like, and that was fine because, I had money by then. I could do my own shit. But because I associated that with, something, unpleasant. And so for a long time, I just disliked Christmas, like on principle, for that reason. Said people are well out of my life now, and I can just sort of look at things on my own and not have to, make those kinds of associations. And what I've decided in the past few years is Christmas is fun. I like lights and Christmas movies, and giving people things. Those are all things that I enjoy. So I'm like, yeah, I should probably just, try liking Christmas again. And it was surprisingly easy to like Christmas again. I'm sorry, Charlie Brown, but Christmas is secular now for many, many people, and it's not a big deal. I'm a secular person, and I just really love Christmas now, like I did when I was young. And I have for a few years, so apparently this is not a phase.
Yeah, Leon, I got your gift today.
Oh, cool. It is very weird, isn't it?
I kind of like it. It reminds me of Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got Leon's gift. It is a fist-sized D20 dice, which lights up when you crit, which is actually the most useful gift I may have ever gotten. It's something I might actually pull out.
Mine is a decision maker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It is a magnetized base and or ball, possibly. I haven't figured out which one's magnetized and which one isn't. And around the outside has very 8-ball-like questions that say, ask a friend, try again, no way, definitely, maybe, and yes. And I tried it out today when I first opened it, and I was like, should I podcast with these jokers again today? And it said definitely, so here I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The other, present I've gotten,
in fairness, if it had said no way, I would have been like, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Take that, Magna.
And after you move to your new place, I am going to send you your Christmas present. I didn't want to send it beforehand.
Yeah, it will get lost.
Yeah, someday when I go back to South Florida, I'm going to send you some stuff too. But I wanted to say, because my birthday and Christmas are so close, I just kind of consider them one thing for me, for my purposes. Yeah. And my brother got me the necktie worn by the villain of Diamond is Unbreakable, the 4th story arc of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, Austin's getting into fashion.
It's not something you can wear because it's purple and covered in skulls.
No, that is the thing you wear.
Yeah, I think that's something that you can wear, Austin.
Okay. You think they would let me in court wearing that tie?
No, I didn't say, oh, Austin's getting into work functional clothing.
Oh, okay. I should wear exclusively JoJo fashion to court.
There you go.
I'm just gonna put a picture.
I would go to that court. I would commit felonies just to go to that court.
Jesus. I'm gonna put a...
Be like, what the hell is this? You committed a felony on your way out of the courthouse? Yeah, what can I say? I just love the look around here.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna put a link to it in the chat so you guys can see this tie. But the next question...
Okay. I've seen this tie.
Yeah, because Johnny's on that. The finale is in like 2 days. Michael...
I've been waiting until it comes out so that I can just...
binge it.
Yeah, through the rest of it, because that's how I JoJo.
Michael Keenan asks, real tree, fake tree, or no tree?
Fake.
This year, I'm like, things are in boxes right now. So I decided not to get a tree, but next year I'm going to. It will probably be just a fake tree for my amusement. I don't need to bring sap into the mix here.
Besides, real trees have better shit to do.
They really do. Plastic is just there. Let's.
And it's durable. It'll last.
Yeah.
Why would I have like 5 trees in 5 years when I could have run 1 tree for like 50?
I don't have any tree preferences. I don't think like Christmas trees grow in Florida. I feel like that's a northern thing.
Yeah, but that's still probably a vote for fake trees then.
Yeah. I don't have preferences. Yeah. So I think I probably alluded to this before, but I've never really celebrated Christmas traditionally. We were really kind of too poor to do it, and I kind of was upset about that for a long time because it felt like I felt really guilty about not being able to afford presents and just shitty about not getting them. So like this year, all of my Tallahassee friends are leaving to be with their families, and I think me and my brother are just going to chill here and do Jewish Christmas, which is just Chinese food.
Cool.
Which is fine. Like, I'm used to it or whatever. So I'm not a traditional tree and wrapped presents kind of guy. So
Look, Austin, if you can find some place that does pan-fried pork dumplings, and like good pan-fried pork dumplings, that is the greatest gift right here.
I think the greatest gift.
And I am not pointing to my heart. I am in fact pointing to my stomach.
Yeah,
so
that's where that is where they go, except for the cholesterol. The actual real best present, I think we got a question for this. Yeah, Pruitt Holcomb asks, best/favorite Christmas present you have ever given or received? And mine is definitely the forums for this show and for Dice Funk got together and like did a whole half hour like thank you tribute in their latest podcast about our podcast, where they just like read thank you messages to me and stuff, and it was very sweet, and I had a hard time dealing with it because it's like people
just to you.
Well, it's my birthday, so
it's just
it is for my birthday.
That's fair enough.
It's like more appreciation than I've gotten in the past 25 years. So it's
Austin, I love you.
Aw. It was just.
Why do you think I keep coming back every week and hang out with you twice?
Because
at least
the blackmail. I thought. Have you just? Was that not a factor anymore?
Austin, I thought you would realize by now that if you let that information out, it's way less embarrassing than the stuff that I actually talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, and considering just the media climate we're in, you can basically do anything. It's just free publicity now.
Yeah, I know.
But best/favorite gifts you have given or received, guys?
Austin, I'm sending you a birthday present in the chat right now.
I put the tie in there. Do you see it, Leon?
I do in fact see it.
What do you think? Stylish? Should I wear that to court?
Yeah, I mean, it's very intimidating.
It definitely is. Oh no, Leon just put an MP4. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to listen to this on air?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, here we go. Well, you guys,
with the sound way up.
That's not gonna work. What is this? All right, yeah, it's I've seen this. This is a video of Pokemon Sun and Moon with the Primarina doing its Z attack, and there's the Titanic song in the background.
That is not the Titanic song. That is
so,
I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Oh, shit. Celine Dion is not Whitney Houston. My mistake.
Yeah, that's the Bodyguard song.
Shit, that is it. Yeah. I was... Okay, listen. Not the most embarrassing mistake, but yeah, it's a good...
No, you're fine.
Good-ass video.
Thanks.
Answer the question, you doof.
Oh, I'm sorry. I tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have... I can't remember what I got when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that this year I got cashmere socks.
Soft?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So, and that's kind of what I want. Like someone says, here is something functional, but also I put thought into it. And I was like, oh, thank you. So that's cool. I also got a t-shirt that says horsing around on it. And when I saw that I was getting it, I howled. I could not believe that this was happening. It was very good. Yeah. Apparently, someone who one of my patrons, basically my high roller patrons, if they ask me, I will send them Christmas cards, and I do. And one of them's like, "I'm going to send you something back." And I'm like, "I know you, so I guess I can trust you to do that." So something is coming. I don't exactly know what it is, but we'll see.
And we also got the converse of this question from Martin, who asks, "Worst Christmas gift you have ever gotten?" So if you want to be ruminating on that one too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's hard.
I think this was a Christmas gift, and I can't quite recall if it was a Christmas or a birthday gift, because my Christmas and my birthday are quite close together. But my brother got me once a poster printing of one of those like demotivational posters, but not from like demotivational.com, from the like what's the company that There's actually like there's a company, despair.com.
Okay.
That's them. If you go to despair.com, you'll get like some of the best, because the thing is that they're all subversive. They look like they're like actual motivational posters, but just say things on them. You know, like there's one that's the one that he got me has a picture of a person standing atop this like beautiful mountainscape from like far away, and there are clouds below. It's like it's some amazing shit, and it says underneath it, pretension. The downside of being better than everyone else is that people tend to assume you're pretentious.
Nice.
But yeah, they have other ones. Like there's one that's a picture of the running of the bulls, and it says tradition. Just because you've always done it that way doesn't mean it's not incredibly stupid.
I can get behind that one.
Yeah, like despair.com have just some of the like, and they have great T-shirts too. Like I got a T-shirt from them one year that just has like the periodic table FE on it, and underneath it just says irony. But yeah, so that was probably one of the best gifts I ever got.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking my dressing gown, because I have a very warm, fuzzy dressing gown that's just like too good to get out of.
It's all gift questions from here on out. Matthew Hare asked, "What's the most embarrassing Christmas present you ever received?" If you guys just have interesting Christmas presents, just throw them out there. Let's just get wild.
I can't think of any.
Nah?
I mean, I got like, the occasional video game and like clothes and stuff. There's nothing like, one time the elephant. No, it's like there's no like weird story. Like I like even on the occasion that I got something I did not want, I never like let on, because that would be shitty. I remember I wanted to get the game Double Dragon. And someone instead got me a different game that was, I guess, in hindsight, not as good. And that person said, "Is that the thing you wanted?" And I said, "Yes, thank you." Because it would be like the worst thing to say no. It's really shitty. I was like, I don't know. Whenever Double Dragon came out, I like 7 or 8 or something. That would be awful. So, when people got me things, I was just like, thanks, because I made a lot of use out of that game anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have any, like super bad or like weird present stories. Sorry.
You're a disappointment to everyone.
Yep.
We got another question. Yeah.
Nobody ever buys me like super significant presents. Like my family's very upfront about Christmas.
Yeah.
We're very much like, okay, so these are some things that I could use, that I like, that I would like.
Christmas as a transactional event makes no sense. We're all adults. Buy your own shit.
But that's the thing precisely, is that it's just kind of like, it's an excuse for it to get together, though.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Sorry.
Christmas is the hallowed time of year when we really mess up our Amazon recommendations.
Look, so I like thinking of presents that the receiver would find amusing or useful. But I always have like a friend or two who were like, things are really tight for me right now. This is the thing I need for my home. And I'm like, done. I mean, that at least that one's easy.
I was in a hot topic the other day, and I couldn't even deal with it, because every single thing in there, I was like, Lauren, our Dice Funk co-host, would absolutely go bananas over this for Christmas. It was all Sailor Moon and Gudetama and like Invader Zim and like trashy emo bands, and I was like, everything in here would be fine.
How is Invader Zim still a thing? I feel like that's like
The comics?
something that
I think the
that
comic
belongs
series.
to my generation, but
I like Invader Zim well enough. I'm not mad at it. Hot Topic went through a really rough period where I would not have gone in there, but it's actually pretty lit right now. Like it's a lot of good anime garbage. It's Over the Garden Wall, Steven Universe.
Ooh! My espresso machine, which is actually only a couple years old, I did get.
Okay.
And even though it was a gift to Stephanie, the immersion circulator may be the best gift I ever got for somebody else.
Yeah. Just food science stuff for Johnny.
Because we live together and I get to use it.
That's the best kind of present. It's like, baby, I got you a PlayStation 4. you can watch Netflix on it.
But you don't want to homer it, right? You don't want to be like the whole bowling ball episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You know?
Simpsons did it.
It's like you want to be like I got you this thing. Oh my god, that's great. That was exactly what I wanted. Be like, I know, it's exactly what I wanted too.
So we need to save
synergy.
We need to save some time for Star Wars, but I wanted to ask one last question.
All right.
Okay.
Lana Seawolf, who I think needs a nickname, just like Fossil
the Conqueror,
Fossil Queen. She's the archaeologist. Question.
Oh
asker.
yeah.
We got.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it. Asks any unusual holiday traditions that you guys have. My family holds a Nerf gun fight in the morning after presents. Pretty cool family.
Nice. Do I have any traditions? I go to the movies. It's not unusual at all, though.
It's not unusual.
It's like what people do. It's not surprising in any way.
Come on, Austin, give me a whole verse.
Yeah, maybe on New Year's. My family used to do when we were very young for my brother and my birthday, because my brother's birthday is a couple days after Christmas and mine is a couple days before. So like one random night or so, they would just blow up like 1,000 balloons, and just because we shared a bunk bed, and so just fill our room with balloons. Oh. And so we'd like wake up and it'd just be like balloon time for like that. That's just how that morning was. We were just gonna fuck around with some balloons. That's like the only thing I can remember where we did like every year.
That is adorable.
Like with helium?
That's the best story.
I don't think so. I think it was just...
So they manually inflated a shit ton of balloons.
That is my memory of it. I was like,
that's
when I was 5
that's pretty
years
tight. Old. That is pretty tight, because that's a labor of love.
Yeah. That's my answer.
Yep.
I don't really have any. My family doesn't really do anything tremendously weird on Christmas. I guess we're pretty traditional in weird ways.
Yeah, just the regular Canadian Christmas. You guys have the roast beaver, the sautéed moose. I don't know.
Excuse me, Austin, but the beavers are national animal.
Are they not food?
No.
Anything's food.
I mean,
if you put it in your mouth,
anything's food.
Yeah.
But
holy shit!
I mean,
you guys remember the fucking Popeye movie? And the song in that movie, "Everything Is Food." I just had an acid flashback.
I was just making a dumb joke, but okay.
No, I didn't.
It was a reference.
I didn't think it was an intentional reference. I just remembered that thing exists. There's a Popeye movie, Popeye the Sailor Man.
Sure is.
It's very bad, and there's a song in that movie called "Everything Is Food." Woof, that movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think we're.
But yeah, nothing really like off topic. We often play board games, but weird Johnny board games. So.
Okay.
Before we start, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say one more thing.
Cool.
In Canada, you can only eat a beaver at a speakeasy.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay,
and
done.
And every time here's the thing. Okay, just in case you're visiting Canada and you learn the password to a speakeasy, that's not the whole password. You have to say A afterwards.
Welcome to our middle school stand-up routine. I hope you'll vote for us in the talent show. Before we get into the Rogue One spoiler cast, this is the part where I want to get on record, me asking Leon for our special holiday episode. I have an MP3 here of a Christmas song one of our listeners who goes by SDN on SoundCloud and Sam on the forums and Twitter and stuff did. Do you want to throw that on instead of Kiss from a Rose just for this one episode? Have it be our outro? Because I have this.
What I would like to hear it, but I mean, I'll just tentatively say yes. All right, but let's hear it.
I'll send it over to you after we're done recording. But it's like a Merry Gorfmas named after.
Would you a meaty Gorfmas, man? A meaty Gorfmas
after the deity that we have kind of constructed for ourselves in our various programs.
Do me a favor, Austin. Put the link in the chat because I saw it when I was at work today, but I did not have a chance to listen to it because there were people around.
They must not know your shame.
Well, no, it's not a case of knowing shame. It's just something I would rather not explain to the normies that I work with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Be like, oh yeah, well, I kind of, like, me and a couple of friends accidentally invented this weird pantheon of
alien religions. Yeah.
Our they feature very heavily in our D&D campaigns.
Oh god, it's so bad when you explain it. Our fandom is amazingly talented between the art and the poems and the songs and everything they do, but it is very difficult to explain without sounding like a mad person. Actually got some of the people, I'm trying to get them to listen to Dice Funk, the people I hang out with. I think Clam was the first one. He listened to the first episode, and he said in our group chat, not gonna lie, these guys are professional memers.
I will take that from Clam, just by reputation.
Yeah.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
How do I download this?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna send you the MP3. That's the link that Johnny asked for.
Okay.
I'll send it to you on Twitter.
I requested that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's our one of our star reviews in our group chat. But
we super do not have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we can briefly talk about Rogue One starting now.
Rogue me.
Full spoilers. It is a mediocre adaptation of classic video game Halo Reach, except Zatoichi shows up and he's okay.
I like a good Zatoichi.
It's actually very, very good. The first two acts are good. The last act is amazing, and I cried twice.
My God. I saw you when you said you cried on Twitter, and I was like, "Damn, I think it's gonna be good." I went in like kind of feeling like it was gonna be better than I ended up walking away feeling about it. But I cannot follow you down so many of those paths, Leon.
No, that's fine. I want to say so much things, but Johnny, are you ever planning to see this movie?
Yeah, but look, Leon, go ahead.
He knows how it's not. It's so obvious that actually bothered me a lot. It was so telegraphed how everything was going to turn out. Like, it's Halo Reach. It's the prequel where they do the thing that sets up the rest of the series, but none of these characters are ever seen again, so they have to die. They were toast from minute one, and they.
I didn't see it that way at all. Okay. I thought in my mind I was like, oh, okay, well, some of these might die, but Disney is probably going to want to have a couple of them survive so that they can do something else with them down the road.
So Manny Bothans didn't get away?
That's the
that's the other one.
Return of the
Jedi. I know. I was just making a shitty joke about a fictional character whose name was Manny Bothans.
Yeah, I got it. That was very good.
Okay. No, literally, yes, okay. But no, yeah, all of the characters died.
At a certain point in the third act, I was already giggling because I was imagining the edits of it with the what you say meme, because they just kept dying, and I was like low-key cracking up.
Okay, that's you, but when K2 died, I lost it pretty hard.
He was hit and miss. I honestly thought he was going to grade on me at first, but he kind of grew on me over it. He's probably my favorite thing. The droid.
He was the either the best character or close to it.
K2's the droid, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That Alan Tudyk plays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fireflies wash.
But I actually really loved Shiro and his husband. They were the best.
Oh, Zatoichi?
Yeah, when that character did his walk, I was like, he's obviously gonna die now. No, come on.
That was a pretty cool moment. But here's the thing: like you said, their names. Like I didn't actually remember that was their names. On the way back, I said to everyone in the car, I will give anyone in this car $100 to name a single character from the movie we just watched.
Jin. She is the main character.
No one could do it. When I got home, I asked Clam. He wasn't in the same car, and he could name a couple people. But no one I was with in that car retained a single name. They're like, I don't want to be an asshole, but like in Force Awakens, those characters are strong. They have charisma. Like, I love all of them. Rey, Finn, even Kylo. Like, I remember them strongly. Nobody that's fine. In Rogue One leaves an impression.
For you, and that is fine. But for me, Saul, I could remember him pretty well. As far as fucking Whitaker, Galen is played by fucking Hannibal,
and we can talk about that. I think those are totally wasted roles. I think they were distracting as hell. I couldn't get into either of them because I was like, that's just Forrest Whitaker and Mads Mikkelsen. They're not Star Wars characters.
How did the guy who played Krennic do?
He was great. Ben Mendelsohn.
Did we have a strong? Great. We had a strong villain.
Director Krennic, he was awesome.
He has a lot of charisma. He's the guy who plays the antagonist on Bloodlines. Yeah. But the character is meaningless. He has no definable traits. He doesn't play any important role. He gets shot in the back in the most cliche way. He doesn't actually have a combat showdown or anything. It stinks of like rewrites. Like there's
well there were some reshoots.
Yeah, it's obvious.
That is definitely
like the scene
that is definitely true.
Where Forrest Whitaker tortures a guy with a CGI tentacle that's never brought up again and has no, like, this movie was hacked to bits at some point.
I still feel really strongly about pretty much all the characters. I liked Jin well enough. I like Cassian. I liked Director Krennic. I love Shiru. Oh, so good.
I found him more I liked him, but it was distracting for me that he was just from another film entirely.
He was so good. Oh, and his husband Baze.
That his name? You could have put a gun in my
Baze
mouth.
Is the best one.
And told me to say that character's name, and I would have been like, "Bye, Leon. Here I go again on my own." The bet.
Oh my god, Baze has a proton pack on the whole movie, and when his husband died, he's like, fuck all this, and he starts like doing his Shiro's mantra, and just like he's lost the will to live now that his husband's dead, so he just kind of walks into all these stormtroopers and just fucks them all up until he dies.
Not really. He doesn't even get like a good roaring revenge rampage. He kind of shoots like 2 guys who are already down before he gets blown up.
He shoots a bunch of guys. He shot at least 4 guys.
Okay.
I was counting.
I felt like it would have been more impressive if he had like taken a whole platoon on his way out.
He had to have a sad showdown.
Okay.
He had to have a sad showdown. He just lost his boy.
A sad samurai showdown.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
I would have jettisoned like most of the first act. I think Saw was a totally wasted character. I know he's from the animated series, and
I'll agree with you on that. I think I'll say Saw, although I certainly remember him, felt like, this probably didn't even need to happen.
Forrest Whitaker is a very talented actor. He brought nothing to the role.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I also, while I'm saying things I didn't like about it, I loved the last 5 minutes with Darth Vader.
Yes.
I was not a fan. I was not a fan of the
CGI.
Here's Darth Vader. I did not like the Here's Darth Vader moment where we see Darth Vader and he meets with Krennic. Because not only did it... How do I put this? James Earl Jones doesn't sound like Darth Vader anymore.
It's close enough.
He does.
So I think the thing people are going to talk about most, I think time will vindicate me on this movie being disappointing, but I think that its legacy will always be the CGI characters they brought back, like Leia at the end and Grand Moff Tarkin, who jettisoned me out of that movie. When they showed his CGI ass, clay ass, Play-Doh ass face, I was done. Like, I was not able to get back into the movie after that.
I loved it real hard. I thought it was as good as it's going to look.
It's like a PS5 cutscene, I'll give you that, but it was in a live-action scene. It's Roger Rabbit.
With our current level of technology, that was as good as it was going to get. I liked it well enough, and I was amused by it. I liked that Red Leader. This is like the CGI character that no one's talking about. Red Leader makes a cameo from A New Hope. He just shows up.
Whoa. Red Leader?
Everyone says like green leader standing by, blue leader standing by, and then it's like it's literally a shot from A New Hope with like some CG stuff to change it. It's like red leader standing by, and I think I was the only one in the audience that gasped because I recognized it.
There was a lot of fun fan service like that. Like they go to Jeddah, which is a planet where the Jedi, I guess, originate from. I only know them from Knights of the Old Republic when you go there to get the Crystal Fear lightsaber in that video game, which I don't know if is canon anymore. Okay. But like they destroy Jeddah, and like that's a.
It is not. It is not canon.
No. Well, that's a bit.
I mean, but it is now. So
that's a big moment for like the Star Wars universe. Like the Empire destroyed Jeddah on screen, but like I don't know if anybody in the theater noticed or cared.
It's actually kind of fucking hilarious because when Disney got it, they're like, yeah, the expanded universe is done. Mm-hmm. But there's all this shit that was in the expanded universe that writers are now like, oh no, shit, this is too good. We got to keep this.
Yeah.
Like in Rebels, in the animated TV show they're doing, they brought back Admiral Thrawn.
I heard.
Grand Admiral Thrawn's fucking canon again. Okay. Even a canon rewrite couldn't kill that motherfucker.
All right,
that's how badass Thrawn
is. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Austin, I'll agree that when you look at his face,
it's bad.
you can
Peter
say
Cushing?
that is obviously CG.
Why didn't they just have him talking to him on a hologram? Then you can totally excuse it as like a bad connection or something.
In my mind, what they should have done is just had the basically the equivalent of hiding the wires, and by that I mean no lights. You I don't mean like a silhouette. I just mean you don't see the edges because he's in a shadowy room, but you totally see his face, and that would have been fine.
I would have literally just had them talk through holograms because like they've established that shitty hologram technology in A New Hope.
Yeah, but then he's not a grand Moff. He's just a pretty good Moff.
Decent Moff.
When Leia showed up for 5 seconds, she just looked like Leia. Because that just looked like Carrie Fisher, and I cried. Oh. She's turned around. I'm like, basically she's looking the other way, and I'm like, oh, okay, well obviously they can't do that much to de-age Carrie Fisher or just show a clip from Carrie Fisher, so we're not going to actually see her face. And then she turned around, and it just looked like Carrie Fisher, and I lost my shit. I ugly cried so hard.
There's such a mark.
Happened. God, it was so good.
The good news, Austin, is that like years from now, when people see the Star Wars saga as like an oeuvre of films, the quality is going to be so bad, nobody's going to be able to tell the difference. They're going to be like, "Holy shit! How did they get Peter Cushing to look so young when he was dead?"
Listen, the Carrie Fisher thing didn't come off as badly because they didn't require that much of her. She's in it for like a second. Like they didn't have her emoting or monologuing or anything. But I still would have cut to black as soon as you see her from behind. Like that's what I would have done. But they guess.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. I understand what you're saying, but to me that would feel like it like somehow the film reel got cut by accident. To me, I felt like. If as she turned around, it stopped. Everyone in the audience would go, "Oh, come on, 1 second, please." And then they did it.
You gotta give filmmaking its visual property.
I mean, it was a good shot of the door opening and her on the other side with her back to the camera. But like you've established this Leia, having her turn around and deliver what's actually a pretty bad line, honestly.
I disagree strongly.
Okay. The movie had a weird tone problem where it was like chintzy a lot, and then it was like, now it's dark time. I don't know. And it also had a really underwhelming color palette, I felt, except for some of the aerial planet shots.
I'll agree with that. With you on that one.
That was A New Hope, though.
You could argue
A New Hope had a shitty color palette. Do you like your browns and grays? Congratulations.
But like I want to be clear, like Mads Mikkelsen is one of like my favorite actors. I would watch him in anything. He doesn't get enough room to work in this. I think he's wasted, and it's also kind of distracting because my favorite Star Wars characters are like unknown actors.
Okay, that's fine.
But no, my favorite thing about this, and I think the whole movie's worth it because of this. Throw out everything else I said. Darth Vader.
Okay, I'm going to.
Darth Vader at the end makes the Force seem dangerous for like the second time on film. The first time was like when Kylo Ren stops that bullet at the beginning of Force Awakens. Any other time,
lay it out. I got to hear what happens here.
Either the Force is either not good because technology wasn't there, like in the original trilogy, or it's bad because it's played like a cartoon in the prequel trilogy. But in Force Awakens and here, Force users feel dangerous like slasher villains. Like when Vader goes into the Alliance ship at the end and just starts fucking Jason Voorheesing dudes, I was like genuinely like, oh my god.
So he just starts killing guys.
He's basically in the beginning of A New Hope, when there's like a hall and there's those dudes with the bad helmets shooting at stormtroopers.
Yeah.
It's like that. He's in a different hall and there's those dudes with the bad helmets and they're trying to get the plans for the Death Star through a door that won't work. So Vader just walks along and just murders them like really viciously, like one by one. And then the last guy puts his hand through the door to give it to another guy. And then Vader murders him too. He just not through him his body and the door.
Just through the Force.
Yeah, he was
like
just,
not
he was
even
just like,
no lightsaber. He's like, dude, you're not even turning this on.
He has a lightsaber, but
my electricity bill will go through the roof. I'm just gonna.
He uses both. He kind of like is breaking dudes with the Force while slashing other dudes.
All right.
He's like the Force Unleashed video game, but good.
Yeah, I will say again.
Okay, that sounds compelling.
Just like I said, there are some things, like I said, I did not like about them, but you got to understand my level of enjoyment like eclipses the things I don't like about them to the point that I don't care. For example, when in the Darth Vader scene that should never have happened, when Darth Vader made a bad joke, I was like, oh god,
I think
worst part of the movie.
I think this actually has more characterization for Darth Vader in it than the entire prequel trilogy, honestly. It does a lot to rehabilitate his image and make him seem threatening. It
does.
And make the Force seem like cool again.
Yeah, I agree.
The only other thing I wanted to say, or I guess one of a few, but I'll try to keep it short, is the entire third act is a long, protracted sequence of tech support. Just people screaming on radios like, no, turn it back off, turn it back on again, wiggle a handle, hold on, I have to plug this in. No, did you align the satellite? Like, it's actually embarrassing how fitting it is for what should be like a Saving Private Ryan beach fight.
Austin?
Yeah.
Austin, that's new drama.
I get it. Definitely feels.
Do you have a signal? Did you check your bars, dude? My tweet's not uploading.
What if we remade Band of Brothers for millennials and they're just trying to get a Wi-Fi signal and it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them? It's not at all how I would have handled it. Although there are parts of it that are good, like when you see the AT-AT through the smoke and you get a sense of it being an actually dangerous military vehicle for the first time, perhaps on film. That just definitely satisfying. I love that a lot. But there's just all the things around it that took me out of it.
That's fine.
I have other things, but my basic thought at the end of the day is that this is not what I wanted. I don't think the people who made it had a particular passion for telling this story. It seems like it was kind of like, well, we need a spinoff. Let's just do a prequel where we explain a plot point that doesn't need to be explained.
Hey, I know for a fact that Gary Whitta,
PC gamer editor-in-chief and writer of the
ex PC gamer staff member,
and credited for the story on this film.
Is a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, I know he is, and I'm sure he said, "Hey, I'm gonna make Halo Reach into a movie because I know about video games and I know about Star Wars, and I can do this." And
but he was a PC gamer staff member, so why would he know about Halo Reach?
I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has played an Xbox.
Checkmate, motherfucker.
Okay.
All right, I seriously have to go. This is now the longest episode of Word Funk ever. Yep. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, don't get your bulgogi and your bukkake mixed up.
Christ. No, wow, bad. Last thing I want to say is the other sequence which totally made the movie worth it is when the fish people use one Star Destroyer to cut another Star Destroyer in half. That was fucking gangster.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Yep. I have to go. Disengage on 3.
On 3.
That's not the word we use. Desync on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yourself a meaty little gorfmas. Let your mind be violated by their might. From now on, you'll be one of consume us all. Here we are as in olden days, ancient horror days of yore. Sentient rock teeth and tentacles, bloody rituals and roar. Through the eons we all will melt together, if the wheels allow. Ever turning, burning from the plains beyond.